Budget 2023 update. You just saw the presentation of the leader of the opposition while he, hammered in all the major points and, dealing with the issues before us in that budget as he wrapped up the budget debate for our opposition MPs. So here we are sitting with the leader of the opposition, none other than Mr. Aubrey C. Norton, Member of Parliament. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon to the listening public.
We saw that debate presentation there where there was lots of blows sharing out in that speech and what I will say in a very peculiar way, with all the constraints that you're placed under with words and all the different things that they have been attempting to do while we were at this debate. I would just ask you to give us some of the important points that you want to re-emphasize to the public.
But I set out to establish essentially that all the research, documentation, they have shown that a lot of Guyanese are in extreme poverty. And therefore, having looked at the budget and recognized that it didn't deal with poverty, one of the first tasks I undertook was to outline our strategy for dealing with poverty. And I was able to give them a plethora of points that if the government follow, can contribute to the reduction in poverty. And I believe that is critical. There's no sense of talking about the fastest growing country in the world, all these are your resources, and you're in poverty. And so that was the first thing I said. Then the government seems to operate as if they can do nothing about cost of living. So the second task I undertook was to point out to them that these are the measures that can be taken to deal with cost of living and to be able to bring down the cost of living. So they can't say that they don't have ideas. They were given ideas. The other issue that was critical in the budget was this question of unemployment. And ideas were produced to establish that we can not only provide employment, but there are means of providing employment that pays in a way that allow people to live a happy life. And so I wanted to focus them on putting our resources in oil. The other critical element that I thought needed to be addressed, which I addressed, is we continuously talk about climate change. That, the sea is going to take us over. But the government continues to focus development on the low-lying coast. And what I undertook in this presentation is to say to them, look, there's a solution. Shift to the highlands. Let us begin to develop inter-regional highways. Let us link the 10 regions. And as we go along, identify those high areas and move our activities to the high areas so that we don't have to deal with climate change coming and then affect all of these people we put in on the coast. Excuse me, I'm not advocating moving off the coast totally. I'm advocating shifting to the highlands, reducing the pressure on the coast, and therefore reducing our vulnerability. So we went in that direction. In the process, we have identified measures to fight inflation because we have to fight inflation. So I would say, in large measure, what was done was to provide solutions to these problems and to let the government know that there's no sense in comparing 2015 to 2020 when there are no oil money with 2020 to 2023 when there is oil money, and to urge them to spend this money to develop our human resource capability so that our development can progress. That is in essence what I set out to.
Yeah. And I think it was eloquently done with, you really put out a lot of recommendations there in your budget presentation. Everybody's had a long day. Most persons are ready to leave. We've been watching this for a while. I want to do two things. I want you to like sum up for the viewers what you think would be a phrase or a line to, describe the 2023 budget.
I did that already. Dead meat.
Dead meat.
It is dead meat.
Mm.
It is not a budget that offers hope.
Mm.
It's not a budget that can inspire.
Mhm.
And when poor people, young people look at it, they wouldn't see anything in it for them.
Mhm.
And that's why I said it's dead meat.
Dead meat. And I know next week you'll be back in Parliament with your MPs as they prepare for estimates. What do we look forward to in
What you can look
that
forward
regard?
to is us targeting certain areas to be able to make the government accountable. The thing about the estimates is to get information
Mhm.
and to put pressure and to expose where they put the money for the slush fund, etc. Because they have a slush fund.
Mhm.
That's everything. When you see the man on mission, I think it's 500 million.
$1 million, yeah.
Now, man on mission can't solve the problems. Our problems are rooted in poverty and a number of other issues.
Mhm.
And so we'll have to scrutinize that because that clearly is another slush fund.
Mhm. I noted you said in your presentation it will take everybody, men, women, children, boys, girls, everybody
Institutions,
to deal
police,
with it.
teacher, village.
Mhm.
Look, our social problems are many. And to say man on mission, make it appear as though if it is men who created the problem. There are elements that are created by men. There are elements that are created by women. There are some by the children themselves. But we have got to come together collectively and look at the root cause of these problems, deal with them, including poverty, and put the institutional and other mechanisms in place to be able to deal with the social and economic problems we have. That is what we need.
All right. Well, you heard it from the leader of the opposition as he gave his sum up of the budget presentation. I will just ask if there is anything else that you wanted to say to the public as we wrap up today's program.
What I would say to the public is that I hope the government listens. They were saying that they couldn't deal with the cost of living. They didn't give any poverty measures. They now have it. They can act on them.
Thank you so much, Leader of the Opposition. Thank you for joining us. And we do look forward to other programs next week where we review what is happening in the estimate. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to our viewers. And we hope that you would have enjoyed the program that the budget debate. And we ask that you join us next week as we will begin to talk about the estimates as they are examined in the House next week. Do have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful weekend as well.